Okay, so we've seen the movie. Black folks all over are talking. And as I said in my review, I think the movie's great. I didn't show any concerns for there being any coonery or buffoonery or direct racism, anything like that. However, there is one aspect of this movie that needs to be talked about because you're dealing with Disney. And when I went to see this movie, I know it's still white Hollywood, so I said, let me try to find any type of trace of coonery, buffoonery, insults in this film. Like, well, they got to throw something in there that's derogatory, right? Well, this movie does a good job of actually not having that type of stuff in it, but there is one thing in it that can be harmful to our people, and it's dealing with the situation with the villain played by Michael B. Jordan, which is Killmonger, Erik Killmonger. And like I said in the title, this is going to be spoilers for people that haven't seen the movie. Got to give you a little bit of background on what I'm talking about before I get into what this concern is. Now, what goes on in the movie is you have Black Panther's father, which was the older Black Panther, and the movie starts out where he has a brother in the United States in the hood, and the brother has stolen, he's gone against the Wakanda rules of keeping their power of vibranium secret and all that, and he was trying to use the vibranium to help our people in the hood, right? He wasn't supposed to do that. So what happens is he gets in trouble because he was doing this behind Black Panther's back or whatever in a covert type operation. He gets caught, and the Black Panther has a spy watching him, so he gets caught in his own game. And his brother, who was doing this, his friend, the guy he thought was his friend, was actually a spy, a Wakandan spy. And once he gets found out that the Wakandan spy was onto him all the time and told on him, he tries to kill him. Thus, the Black Panther kills him. So what happens is the older Black Panther, which is T'Challa's father, T'Chaka, leaves him there dead, and his little son finds him, right? And he just leaves him there, and they go back to Wakanda. Now, what I picked up is, the guy that is killed is, he's in the hood, and they're, trying to help the neighborhoods or whatever, and basically deal with the problems of our people. You see different posters on the wall and stuff dealing with like it looks to me like Huey Newton, Black Panther images and stuff like that, right? Of our militants. And so he gets killed in the beginning, right? So the little boy ends up becoming Erik Killmonger, which is the villain, and he is on a mission to destroy T'Challa, son of T'Chaka, who killed his father, and really take down Wakanda and their ideals of keeping vibranium and all their weapons and technology to themselves, taking it over, using it to get back at powers of white oppression all over the world that's hurting a lot of black people that Wakanda's doing nothing about. His purpose is actually justified. So that makes us be able to relate to him even though he's the villain. But the whole thing is he's a villain. In the end, T'Challa ends up killing him. He goes to Wakanda and, he loses to T'Challa. But at the end, T'Challa is actually influenced by Killmonger and does something to help the hood himself in America. So in a sense, he kind of listened to Killmonger. He does it by deciding to reveal his technology and vibranium and everything, rebuild and go into the communities and help people in that way, which I thought was great. Okay? And that's the only reason why the whole militant, the anti militant aspects of this film, in this fantasy movie, that works because of how it ends in that way. But again, did Disney and White Hollywood throw a bone to themselves? Like I said, they got to throw something in there for themselves. They do, in the sense that, like I just said, if this is a fantasy comic book world where you have Wakanda and you have all this technology more advanced than any other place on the planet, and weapons and all this, then yes, Killmonger, for him to try to use that and just go around killing everybody else, that would have been going about his justified mission in the wrong way. But what can become dangerous or harmful in the message behind that is if you try to transfer that to the real world that we live in. And that's why I have to bring that up. And I have to still recognize that aspect of it, and we should still not ignore this. Because what's going on, let's say we transferred it to our world. We have no Wakanda. We have no armies. We have no weapons and all that. The idea of fighting back, the idea of taking up arms and fighting an oppressor, that message would be something that would discourage that mindset if you took it to that level. Now, if we're just watching a movie to be entertained, it's all good. But I'm not going to ignore that jab that they threw. What do I mean? Throughout the history of Hollywood, what they want to teach us as black people, which is harmful, is the same thing we saw in Driving Miss Daisy. It's the same thing we saw in The Green Mile, things like that. Is yes, they acknowledge there's racism. They acknowledge the plight of black people, situation of black people. But their element is we want you to go forward with trying to fix your situation by being nice and showing us how good of a person you are, and then we'll decide to make things better for us according to our approval rather than fighting. We don't want you to fight back. So that's the little part that we got to be careful of and we have to be aware of. Like I said, they're going to throw their own stuff in there, just like in the Black Panther movie and the Marvel fantasy world of Wakanda and all that. The friend of Black Panther, T'Challa, is a CIA agent. You know, he's the good helper in that movie, and the bad guy is the Black Militant, right? Even though T'Challa does some good things in it, the bottom line is that's the situation. But in our world, the CIA agent is the terrorist. They've taken steps to do a whole lot of stuff to us as a people, destroy the Panthers, kill the Panthers, and take down leaders and all kinds of stuff. We already know that. I shouldn't have to go into that by now. Okay? So in our world, the CIA is not our friend. So in our world, what T'Challa would have did transfers into, okay, if you want to improve your situation, black people, rely on us. Rely on the United Nations and rely on the powers of the people in your world to help you. Don't take things into your own hands. So I just wanted to bring that out because that's something that we got to be careful of. I did notice that. Just something to take note of. Still a great film. It's okay to enjoy, good entertainment and all that. And it was good entertainment. And it's fantasy. It's not real. It's a story in a fictional world with different rules. Okay, but at the same time, we still need to show respect to our militant brothers, our militant heroes of the past, and we need to be sure that we don't villainize them in any way because of a movie. That's all I'm saying. So the movie's great if you can keep it in the proper context. But yes, I think that it could be influenced in a dangerous way to our people if taken out of that context. Hey, just something I was thinking about. Peace and power.